Hello everyone, it is Sunday, December 30th, 2018. Of course, we only have a couple of days left for this year. And I stated in the past video that I wasn't going to do a video of new comic books because it was a very small week due to the Christmas holiday. So what I thought I would do is I would show some vintage books, some covers that I like, and I just grabbed stuff out of a box. I didn't, pick and choose certain books. I just grabbed out of the box. And I'm not one of those guys who wants to show high keys because I just kind of feel that too many people do that on YouTube just to kind of show off, look at my collection, look what I have. I've never been like that. I like to just show some really nice vintage books that I enjoy and I hope that you enjoy as well. And then I have a comment as it relates to the future of comic book collecting and the direction in which I'm going for that. So let's jump into some really nice books, okay? First one we have right now, Tales to Astonish, number 73, of course, a Jack Kirby cover. This is from 1965. And when you first look at this book, the first thing you think is, ooh, it's Hulk fighting the Thing, but it's not. It's actually a different type of creature right there who has shorts, kind of looks like the Thing, but it's not. But I just love the way Kirby drew the Hulk in this, in this series. So you can't go wrong with that. Next book from 1974, Witching Hour. This is a high-grade book right here. Now, this is a Nick Cardy cover, and I don't think personally that Nick Cardy gets enough credit for some of the covers he did because he was a fantastic artist, and he kind of gets overshadowed by some of the bigger names, Neal Adams, Romita, Jack Kirby, Bernie Wrightson. But in his own right, he is an excellent artist, and I always try to grab Nick Cardy covers. So there's that right there. Really nice book. Speaking of Neal Adams, from 1968, Superboy number 52. Amazing Spider-Man 195, high grade, second appearance of the Black Cat. That right there. And speaking of Bernie Wrightson, this is a Bernie Wrightson. This is the House of Mystery number 213. Another really high grade book right there. Again, if I was sitting there watching television and saw these things on my roof, I probably wouldn't be watching television anymore. I'd be running my butt out the front door. Jack Kirby, 1972, Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion. This is a fine, very fine. The reason I say high grade for that is because this series, for some reason, is real hard to find books in a really high grade. So this is pretty much the area that you're going to find 7, 7, 5, 8. That's a real high grade for this storyline. So there's that right there. Really cool cover with the bride. Another Nick Cardy. I love Nick Cardy. This is fine, very fine, from 1974, Witching Hour number 45. Just always like that cover. Neal Adams, Action Comics number 363 from 1968. It's a classic cover right there of Superman. Superman and Batman, he drew fantastic. This one always makes me laugh. This is from 1971. This is Supergirl number 407. Makes me laugh because she's kind of bent over there showing her goods. I always thought that was kind of funny. So there's that book right there. Neal Adams cover, number 378, Action Comics from 1969. There you go. Iron Man 39, 1971. (1970). Of course, this is Buscema art on this. This is Submariner number 25. Looks like the Mylar ripped on that right a little bit. I have to change that out. Bernie Wrightson on the first page of this book right here. This, of course, is the House of Mystery 52-page giant number 203. Neal Adams from 1970, Superboy number 163. From 1965, War Heroes number 14, super high grade near mint. Again, for these books right here, that is a really good book. And I've always liked the war books. We've talked about that, whether it be Weird War Tales or Our Army at War. Anything war I really like. So there's that one right there. And that, as it relates to vintage books, is what I am going to show this week. Just a real little taste. Now, there's a couple other things I want to touch base on while we're doing this. Number one, I'm trying to do some new stickers for the books, something with my logo on it. So when you get the logo on the book, you'll know that it was graded by me, has information on it. I think it adds a little bit of class instead of just writing things. I usually just write things, you know, right there on the sticker. So I thought, how can I class it up a little bit? So I just got some regular printing labels, downloaded the program. It was a free program. And I don't know if you can see this or not that well. It just kind of looks like this. It basically just shows, you know, the name of the book, got my logo on the side, the grade I gave it, any type of thing like, you know, first appearance of Black Orchard or something like that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the back of the board here, on the back of the book, inside the back board, so it's underneath the Mylar. And so when a person picks up the book, there'll be nothing on the front. They'll flip it over and it'll all be right there. What I'll have is I'll have the price on it. And I think it'll be kind of nice because people can just go through the books, look. There's no question about it. Because sometimes when you're putting the stickers on the outside of the book, like I'll grab a couple of other books here. If you put them on the outside of the book like that, right there, it has a tendency when people put the stuff back to kind of pull apart or come off the book. So that kind of saves that problem. Cost factor on these is about 2.5, 3 cents a piece. So it's really not too terrible. So there was that. I hope, you know, give me a comment on those labels if that's something that you would like to see when you're buying books. Does it make it easier, or it really doesn't matter to you as long as you're getting a good price? I personally like to know what's going on with that. So there was that. Again, it's been a super long week for me, just kind of rattling on. So we've talked about in the past how 10-cent, 12-cent books, now 15-cent books are getting really, really hard to find in high-grade condition because the amount of speculators that are out there snatching books up makes it difficult for some collectors to fill their runs, their personal runs with high-grade books. So got me kind of thinking how I wanted to move forward on inventory that I purchased, because ultimately, I say this all the time, ultimately I am going to reopen. So what I like to do is, everybody goes after the keys. Everybody hunts keys. I'm in the process right now of buying books that I consider to be high grade in the 25 to 35 cent range, because a lot of these filler books that you can pick up, you can still pick up relatively cheap. Now, like anything else, when the market dries up on a 12-cent book, a 10-cent book, they go to the 15s. When that's done, it's the 20 and the 25 and the 35, 30 cent. Everything has a cycle. So we're drying up on the 10 and 12-cent really nice books. You got to pay a premium for that stuff, which is understandable because it's, you know, supply and demand. So these are some of the things I picked up today. I just thought I would give you an idea of what I buy as it relates to just board it and put it away. So right now I'm buying things like, I buy things like this, Howard the Duck. I like Howard the Duck. Of course, that's a Spider-Man homage right there of Howard the Duck. There's a couple of other ones. You can get these really, really cheap. And I'm talking cheap, like $1 to $2 in really high-grade condition, because a lot of shops, these stack up because everybody wants the big name stuff or the big key issues. It would be nice to be able to buy all key issues, but when you go into a shop, this is the type of stuff that people look for as well. So I'm going to try to give that supply and demand on that. So I picked up number 22. Nice little man thing right there. One of my favorite Howard the Duck covers, of course, this is a Son of Satan homage right there for that. That was Howard the Duck number 14. And I have them out because the bags and boards that these were in were old and beat up, so I'm in the process of putting these in fresh bags and boards. A book that I really think is going to start going up a little bit, and that is Black Lightning. I picked this one up here, number 7. Again, they had other things, but I wasn't really going to pick up books in this area that were damaged because I was trying to find higher grade copies. And when I say higher grade, I'm talking 8.0 and above for things like this. Invaders, number 14. Really, really underappreciated storyline, I think, is the Invaders. This one here. This was number 26. Invaders 22. Of course, I always loved Human Torch. I've stated that in the past. Number 15. Really nice cover right there with a little bit of everything going on. This next book, real happy to pick up in a real high grade condition. This is again, another unappreciated storyline that you can pick up relatively cheap. And these are things that you should think about picking up because they're just going to continue to go up. And that is Micronauts #1. I think I paid like $4 for this book. I mean, it's super high grade condition. Why would you not grab that book for $4? So those are the type of things that I'm buying because, like I stated in other videos, when people go into shops, I have to separate myself from the rest of the shops in town. And I do that by offering high grade books at a decent price. So I really think that moving forward, maybe not, next year, but certainly in the next couple of years, as the vintage books get harder and harder to find, the books that you're going to find in that 1977 to 1982 range are going to be the books that people are grabbing. Of course, there's always going to be a market for, books in the 80s that are key issues, but face it, there's a lot of key issues that are drying up, and when you do find them, you're paying a huge premium for that stuff. So this is another way to add to your collection high-grade books that are really, really nice because, I would rather buy books like I showed, Micronauts, Howard the Duck, The Invaders, and pay $2 or $3 for a super high-grade book of that, than pay $8 or $10 for a beat-up vintage book. That's just how I am, because I want people to come into my space, go through the books and say, man, this guy has all kinds of stuff. And again, this is going to be taken care of like my other books are taken care of. 3 bags, a board, 3 boards and a bag for extra protection. So when people go through the books, they're just going to love what they see. So that was a real quick video. I am going to do another new comic book video either Wednesday or Thursday because the new books come out. It's a regular week. Of course, Conan is going to be the big title that comes out this week. So, pick those up if you can because I think this is going to be a really good storyline, a nice run. So that's all I got for you today. Again, if you're going out for the New Year's, please, please, please be careful. Look out for those idiotic drunk drivers. And I hope you liked the video. But as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great, great night.